of steel. Beneath the hammer, the secrets reveal. The clang, the spark, the rhythm I feel. Rings in my hands, they bind, they sing. Forge the past in a circle of string. Do the ring rings, weaving time, weaving kings. Do the ring rings, crafting fate with metal wings. Do the rings, oh the chains, the lore it brings.
Howdy, howdy, folks. All right, let me try to be smarter than my technology here. There we are. Okay. All right, and that's where the echo is coming from. I am good. Hello. Welcome to Due to the Rings. My name is Rich Asplund, Ring Dude Rich, here to do some chainmail for a little bit, zen out, and work on some projects, and figured go ahead and finally get some more time done on my streaming. So here we go. What I am working on right now is a tie, as in a necktie. It's going to be in aluminum, and it is going to be 18 gauge. ¼ inch, and European 4-in-1. Nice and easy, basic. Little project to just recharge the batteries. Stay. So, I guess what I should do is play a little bit of bed music. Ah, I could have used a weekend at a run fair. Hey, Thesis. Hey, Vince. Okay. And media assets. Pop into music, and let us go with.
Oh, are you working on something?
I am streaming. What do you want?
It can be told later.
All right. The crow enters, and then the crow exits. Let's go with never bank on a learning curve, and let's go ahead and take that down to about there so it's some nice bed music and not overpowering what I'm saying. I'm sure, man. What you want?
I'm sorry. What are you doing?
I'm on camera doing chainmail. I love you. It's all right. My lovely wife. So, the biggest part of any chainmail, or the biggest pain in the butt part of any chainmail project, is generally the first couple of rows. Getting it to lay the way that you want. You know, every man's problem wanting to get laid the right way. Yeah, what? A whole 7 minutes into the stream and I'm already making green room jokes. This will be an interesting night. So, changed my desk setup here a little bit from what I was doing with indie CD creators at Play. So instead of everything being flat on my desk, I actually built a small platform so that I don't have to do weird, tricky mouse tricks to get things to work, because my mouse sits right under here. Worked pretty decent so far. Originally, it was just going to be something to set my keyboard up on so that I had more room to work. And then I realized this brings it up a little bit. It gives me an area to make sure I keep my hands within. You know, it helps if you only add the correct number of rings, Rich. Did I forget to add a ring? There, I got all talkie and I forgot to add a ring. But got into chainmail because I thought it looked cool. And no, that joined in the wrong place. And I figured, hey, what the heck? I'll try it. And, you know, won't have to worry about it. You know, yeah, it gets addictive quick. So, had a doctor's visit today. Don't know if you can see the yellowing. It's mellowed out, mellow yellow. It's mellowed out much since it actually happened earlier. But went to the eye doctor because I'm a diabetic, and because of diabetic issues, I had to get stabbed in the eye regularly. because of issues with my brakes, I couldn't get stabbed in the eye like I was supposed to. So it's been a couple of months since I should have been stabbed in the eye. Get to the doctor, and they do all the little tests that they have to do. And then one of the tests is they take pictures of my eye, then they put ink in my veins. But it, son of a gun, I forgot to add in a ring. But I know where that ring's supposed to go, so we're not having as big of an issue this time. So, yeah, they had to put a dye in so that they can see whether there's any leaking or anything like that. And, yeah, it changes the color of body fluids. Freakishly, it changes the color of body fluids. So, you know, it's urine looks much like the aforementioned joked about mellow yellow. And I didn't realize that it did the exact same thing to my blood. Because I'm sitting there, and they ended up blowing the vein a little bit because my veins are assholes and they like to roll and hide and do all sorts of jerky stuff. And, well, the jerky thing that they did this time was they decided to blow. And so after I took the bandage off, because they put it in through a little IV thing, and then they put the little bandage on, so I didn't see, the site. Now, it was bright, freaking neon yellow. I mean, Wild Bill could have cut that patch out and used it as part of a high-vis vest for his next project. Sorry, Silence of the Lambs joke. But just chilling here for a little bit. Figured I'd get some stream time in. Proof of life. I've been a little scarce lately because of break issues, money issues, mental health issues. Who the hell am I kidding? Mental health volumes. But I'm alive. I am well-ish. I'm not going to lie and say everything's hunky-dory fine, but things are starting to look up. But then again, it is after the date that usually screws with my head the most, so everything should be on the up and up anyway. Mid-April through early June, I have issues. And it's cyclic. It's nothing anyone can stop. It's nothing anyone can do anything for. It's just a broken part of my brain that I have to cope with and deal with. And a lot of times that coping and dealing is me seeking solitude. So if I suddenly disappear, look at the calendar and figure out Is this that time frame? If it's that time frame, all it is my yearly cycle. Um, so, um, I know I'm loved. I've got really good friends. I've got a really good support system. I've got real good family. Um, and when I say I've got a really good family, I'm not just talking biological. Um, I am one of those that believes you curate your family throughout your life. Your kin are the people you don't get to choose. They're your blood. Um, and sometimes kin are assholes. And it's okay to kick kin out of the family. Um, can't kick kin out of being kin because, they're still going to be blood. But it's fun to kick kin out of the family. Family are the people you choose to surround yourself with. The friends and loved ones that make life worth living. So, I tend to get a little bit philosophic at times, a little bit maudlin. I am going to apologize in advance. And, I forgot to go ahead and loop the music again. So let's go back in and let's go ahead and go to WTF Rednecks Can't Groove. Music is provided by the wonderful, talented Dan Hollifield. First Friday of the month, go to Bandcamp and check out his stuff and see if there's anything that you would like to buy. If you purchase on the first Friday of the month, the creators get 100% of the proceeds. So that is the best time of the month to go ahead and purchase from Bandcamp for your friends who are having stuff on Bandcamp. Yeah, he's a great, talented man. He ran the webzine Aphelion. It's on extended hiatus, but it is a short fiction platform for authors that are looking for an alternative place to be published. Submissions are currently closed right now while everything is on hiatus till he figures out what he wants to do going forward. Dan is a talented author as well. And at some point in time, I will probably play an ad for some of his books, as well as some of my other friends, their books and media, and where you can catch their coolness on the web. Now, as you can see across the bottom, this show is brought to you in part by indiecd.org. It's an ORG because it's too much fun to be a .com. But anyways, Joe Bachman started indiecd.org. I have joined him as a partner in that endeavor. And what we seek to do is we seek to connect creatives with other creatives who need to swap things around a bit. a writer who wants to work on a comic but needs an artist who needs a writer for a comic, writer who needs someone to do editing or a book cover. There's people making jewelry. There's people making chainmail. There's crocheters. There's candle makers. There's all sorts of goodness there. Go check it out. And if you're a creator, it's definitely a place to look out for, because we can go ahead and try to boost your signal, get you a little bit more bandwidth out there in the world, so that more people can see the cool shit that you can do. And that's one of the things that we really champion is, it's, Joe and I don't make anything really off of indiecd.org. We do it because we love creatives, and we want to see creatives continue to create in a space that seems to get more and more hostile to creatives, especially in the world of AI. It's just it's tough. Well, crap. That's why. It felt weird because I was working on the backside. Take that off. This is what I wanted. If you're not paying attention with chainmail, it is really easy to weave something backwards or do a weave and connect the wrong set of rings and stuff like that. So it's always good to every so often lay out your piece, take a look at your piece, and make sure that everything is still following the desired pattern. Now, notice I didn't say make sure everything's going the same way, because the pattern you're working on, things might not go the same way because the pattern is not set up for it to go that way. Sometimes things will, take a left at Albuquerque. But I'm probably not going to go too long tonight. I'm probably just going to go for a little bit longer, just to get back in the saddle, get myself used to doing stuff on my own and not just waiting for the entire gang to do a Indie CD Creators that Play. I love doing the Indie CD Creators that Play. But Indie CD Creators that Play, for my channels, it only goes out to my Kick, where when I do my Due to the Rings, it's hitting all my channels. My YouTube, my Twitch, my Kick. Oh. So, we'll go ahead and lay a little bit of learning. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Bad computer. Yep, okay, I guess. So, when it comes to chainmail, to work with chainmail, you really technically only need one thing. Bits of wire. So what I do is called butted chain. So it is not historically accurate chainmail as you would see in armor used in battle for knights and things like that. But it is used a lot for cosplay. Because in cosplay, you don't have to take a hit. Because all this is wire wound around a cylinder and then snipped, or in this case sawed. It's just you bend it so that it's open, and then you bend it back so it's closed again. And that's all you're doing, is you're putting open rings and closed rings together in a way that makes a pattern. When it comes to your rings, there's going to be a couple things that you're going to pay attention to. One is going to be the wire diameter, so the width of the wire, basically. So in this case, it is 18 gauge. 18 gauge tells me, 18 gauge SWG. So 18 gauge SWG tells me it is 1.2 millimeters thick. So pull out my handy dandy caliper and 1.1. It's within variance. The other thing you look at is the inner diameter. So this is 6.8 millimeters, or if I hit the handy dandy little button, 0.27. So quarter inch. So these are 18 gauge SWG 1/4 inch rings. Not to be confused with something like these, which are 20 gauge AWG 3/16. So it's a 3/16 inner diameter. So they're all anodized aluminum, though. I work right now solely in either anodized or bright aluminum. Bright aluminum just means it's regular aluminum, all shined up, nice and pretty. So silver looking aluminum. I don't work in precious metals because I'm too poor to purchase enough of the precious metals to make something that I would be proud of. But part of that is also my imposter syndrome, so that's neither here nor there. I make all sorts of goofy little things. What else do I have around here? So The weave I tend to do most often, well, used to be most often. Now it's European 4-in-1 that I do most often. But before that was Persian, full Persian 6-in-1, which has this nice layered, beautiful design. And the rings are opening in a V on the rings above it, so everything's opening up in one direction, and then looking at it from the other side, everything is decreasing. So it's a very beautiful weave to look at. I'm not wearing them now, but I know I have them around here somewhere. Ah, yes. So what I do a lot is Celtic crosses. Near. These are two of my everyday wear. I actually wear these everywhere I go, which is why I'm like, I know I had them earlier. Now this one's a mistake, but it looks halfway decent anyway. I do these little hearts. Because the last ones I gave to Misty already because they were for the dogs. We had 2 miniature pinchers that passed away over the past couple of years. So I made hearts in the colors of their collars, and then I joined them together because they were brother and sister, and we miss them dearly. Those goofy little chuckle fuckers. Somewhere around here is... That sounded ominous. The hell did I try to roll over? Oh. The wonderful world of being a pack rat. And I say that with no malice towards rats because I actually have rats as pets, and we love them very much. Somewhere around here is the beginning to a 4th Doctor scarf that I am working on. You can see some pictures of that on my Instagram. Because I have no idea where I put it right now because I have ADHD brain. And that's not a jibe at people with ADHD because I am a person with ADHD. I actually do have ADHD. I would like to know what the heck I did with that scarf, though. It bothered me all night. Found it! Haha! My medicine tried to hide it. Aha! Somewhere around here, I have a couple of ties that I've finished as well. One in 18 gauge, 1/4 that is in bright aluminum, and then the other. Oh, here they are. Okay. Am I going to Kagu Jenga? Carpalanche! So, that's the 18 gauge 1/4, and this is the 16 gauge 1/4, and this is in forest green. Now, these ties are not a task for the faint of heart to take on. It is several hours and probably over 1,000 rings to work with. So, show my work area here real quick. Maybe. So there's one tape mark. Come on, be nice. There's one tape mark over here. Okay, fine, be that way. Yay. There's one tape mark over here. And then one tape mark over here. That is 17 inches. And that's what I basically stretch my tie across once it goes from the edge of the first tape to the far edge of the other tape. I know that I've got the length that I need, and then I can start working on the tapers. One's going to just taper to a point, and the other's going to taper in a couple of rings and then taper back out a couple of rings and then turn into a knot and then get a strap around it. When I do my straps, I do in the past a 2-in-2 chain going through where every third set of rings is a set of rubber O-rings so that it gives a little bit of stretch, so that if something happens and that tie gets caught or whatever, there's a chance for it to actually break and not break you. But if your wire's thin enough, pardon me, if your wire's thin enough, you could actually just work it with your fingernails and fingers. On a good hand day, I can do it with 18 gauge 1/4. Yeah, there it is, open. And then when I'm going to close it, just close it up like that. Because again, it's just butted mail. What you would have seen in historical dramas and things like that would have been riveted mail. So what would happen is the two ends here, this probably would have been better if I would have just gone over to, so the two ends there would have been flattened. There'd be a hole going between both of them, and then a rivet would go through that, and then it would be peened over so that it wouldn't come loose, to make a stronger armor. And of course the armor would have been steel, not aluminum. But for today's age, we're just doing it to look pretty. We're not doing it to actually give ourselves much protection, if any. So traditionally, the easiest way to work chainmail is with a set of chainmail pliers, or just make sure that it's any smooth jaw so that the inside doesn't have the teeth and ridges, because that will bite into and mar up the metal of the rings. Let's see. But yeah. Have a pattern, have your rings, have your pliers, opposable thumbs, you're good to go. And then it's just learning how everything comes together and binds together, and it's beautiful seeing how the different things come out against each other. Like, again, this is European foreign ones. This is more the traditional, what you would be seeing if you're looking at something in a Western medieval drama, where they're doing any kind of sword play and stuff like that. You'd be seeing stuff that looks similar to this. You might see kinged version of European, which just basically doubles everything. So it would be 8 and 2. There's a European 6-in-1 that I haven't mucked with yet. There's all sorts of really beautiful and interesting weaves out there. And there's so many things that you can do with them. You can turn something like this into a bracelet. In fact, I had someone when I was working at my previous law firm that requested one just a little bit slimmer than this that would fit right around her wrist, and she decided to keep it as a bracelet. Luckily, I actually had a project that I was just starting, and so I was able to go ahead and just do some quick modifications and get that sold over to her. And she loved it. There's a bunch of really cool resources out there. One place that's cool to go and look at various weaves is a site called Chainmail Basket. I believe it's just chainmailbasket.com. But great place to see what the weaves look like. There's Mail Encyclopedia that will help you learning how to weave certain weaves, because certain weaves can be tricky. So Persian 6-in-1, when you're just learning it, can be a little bit of a pain in the butt, because the way that it goes, it's your first couple of units are a pain, and then after that it's just a breeze, because it's just simple follow a pattern, and it's very soothing for my flavor of ADHD and neurodivergence. It helps me hyper focus on it and just tune everything out and just kind of zen and make the world a better place. After you learn how to do, Persian, 6-in-1, you can learn how to do something called a split, which basically you start off doing the Persian chain normally, and then you double it in one place and just send them going off in different directions, which is what this heart is based off of. Now, again, this is kind of a goofy looking version of the heart. I have much better ones in the house, other places. I've got one hanging from my wife's rear view mirror. I will, how to speak here eventually. It's not like I do it for a living. Spoiler alert, I do it for a living. Most of my materials are purchased through one of two vendors. I either go through the Ring Lord out of Canada, or Chainmail Joe. I believe he is in Minnesota. M-word, definitely an M-word. But both of those places are able to get me stuff very quickly, and the shipping charges are not horrible. I've also got stuff from Metal Designs before. I've gotten stuff from We've Got Mail, West Coast Chainmail, all great suppliers. But again, the main two I go through are Chainmail Joe and the Ring Lord. I used to go through a place in Arizona called American Chainmail, but I have not got much back from them recently, so I do not know if they are still in business. If they are still in business and anyone knows, please let me know, because I would love to start giving business back to him, because you did me right 99% of the time. There's just one time when things went horribly wrong, but of course it was the time when I dropped almost $500 in rings. So that's an order that I kind of need fulfilled. It's not like a $2 order that I can be like, I can live with that if that gets lost. But anyways, a lot of good suppliers out there. I get my pliers from Amazon, and I am a plier addict. You can endoscopy. I've got just a couple pair. I've been doing chainmail off and on $20 years, somewhere around there. A lot of off, a little bit of on. I've been doing it pretty solid for the past probably 10 years. Maybe a little longer than that. I don't remember if I was doing it when Ma was still alive, or if I really dove back into it after my Ma passed. Anyways, but again, it's just something that's great to do, and the beautiful thing is, while you're working with it, it is a fidget toy. The sound, the just the feel of it, just going from one hand to the other, it's like running your hand through sand almost. Just make sure that you do it with stuff that's connected all together, because when these things get lost in the carpet, 6 months to a year later, you'll be like, I haven't bought that in like 2 years. I haven't seen that in like a year. Where the hell are these coming from? Oh, it's because of the day I dropped, my bucket of rings. They like to hide in the fibers of the carving. But it's fun. I use a variety of storage things. Little bead containers from buck and a quarter tree, deli containers and lids from Amazon.com. And what I tend to like to do is here there. I'll have one set of rings, which are just the rings as they come. And then if I have a project where I'm going to be working with some open, some closed, I will go through and I will close a bunch and I will open a bunch and I'll put them in different containers. And then I'll have a container for my project. And everything sits all nice and pretty, pushed off to the side until it's time to work on it. I also got this handy dandy little mat from Buck and a Quarter Tree. Another thing that's nice to tell me what measurements are. If I'm trying to figure out, okay, this I want to be 4 inches or 5 inches or whatever. Really, really great. Comes in really great while working on the stripes. Because it's like, all right, this needs to be 3 inches wide or whatever, put it on here and go, okay, we got it, we don't got it. I need to add another row. I need to take a row off. But it's, and even this project is still a nice fidget toy. This is 1/4 of the way done. So I still have 3/4 of the thing to go. And it's taken me months to get this far, but we will also, go in there and say, actually, it's taking me more months. It's taking me almost a year at this point to get this far. But most of that growth has been in the past few months. Through just, health issues and things like that, just got me behind. Issues with my hands, looking for a new job, bunch of stuff like that. Just kind of put a damper on me actually working on mail, and then started working on mail a lot more last summer. That's actually what got me into doing this project, period. And finally, going out and dropping the 500 and some odd bucks to get all the rings for this. Yeah. Something like this would go minimum $1,000 if I had to sell it right now. And not at the current length. I mean, when it gets to its full length, because again, putting a year into it, over a year into it, by the time it finally gets done, and the 500 materials, yeah, that puppy ain't going cheap if I decide to make one and sell one. I'm rambling at this point in time. It is almost an hour, so I am going to go ahead and call it here. Thank everyone for watching. Before I go, I am going to go ahead and see if I have a few ads to play for my friends. I know I do if I change. All right, I'm going to play some ads for some of my friends, and then I am going to go ahead and call it an evening. I love you all. I will be back in a couple of minutes after I play some ads. Enjoy, my friends.
In the early days of the Korean War, an underage boy ran away from his family's farm in West Virginia to join the Army. He quickly transferred to the Air Corps and became a fighter pilot. Somehow, he became useful to several alphabet agencies, so he was recruited to help them during the Cold War. Eventually, he got tired of being a spy and tried to retire. Fate had other ideas. These are some of the early adventures of Captain Tom Darby of the U.S. Army Air Corps. From before that fateful night, he rode his motorcycle around a curve too fast on a back road in rural Georgia and accidentally began a new life entirely.
Welcome, friends. I'm Lloyd at Thesis, and this is my TS. Come join me every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time as we discuss Chinese culture, history, philosophy, and of course, martial arts. You can find me at youtube.com/BLADDTH3SIS. Pull up a chair, grab a cup of tea, or the drink of your choice, and join the discussion.
Let's see. Let's do two more.
In 1948, a man was found dead on the beach. But he hadn't just washed up. Oh no, he was very nicely propped up against the seawall, very well dressed. But there were no labels in his clothes. They had all been cut out. Very mysterious, the police thought. And then they found, rolled up in his pocket, a piece of paper from a novel that said Tamam Shud. When they finally traced it, it came back to the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. But it got even more strange, because in the back of the book, when they found that it had been torn out of, there was a code, a secret code that has not been cracked to this very day. When they finally found his suitcase, it had a mysterious jumble of items, some which were very hard to explain. Also in the back of the book was the phone number of a very mysterious nurse. What did she have to do with the death of the Somerton man? Find Death and Love Down Under, a novel by Carl Witzman, on Lulu.com in both ebook and print format.
From the moment Security Chief Michael Facino heard her lilting voice, he was smitten with the Irish lady in distress. But what's invaded his home station at Caladar? And what's that Irish voice doing in his head?
You can find all of Donna Carlene's books on Lulu.com. Find out more about her on the NDCD page at ndcd.org.
Right, and with that, it is time to go ahead and call it an evening. Thanks for joining, or if you watch it later, thanks for watching. Have a spectacular rest of whatever it is, day, evening, night. Just have a good one. I wish you nothing but hope, laughter, and light. Be good to each other. Make the world a better place. Let's build each other up, not tear each other down.